Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of 7 Days to Die. We are back here in Alpha 17. This is build 240, just in case any of you guys are wondering. It's the first stable build that came out. And as you guys may have known, when you do the Random World Generation maps, it seems like there's something that's just not causing the skyscrapers to spawn in. So I went in, I messed around with the files a little bit, and I did figure out some ways. I mean, check this out. Just in this map alone, we have here the hospital, which is factory large number 2, or no, I'm sorry, this is Shotgun Messiah. We have a Shotgun Messiah in this city. We have another big building over here, which is the Ostrich. We have the skyscraper number 4, which is Joe Bros Builders. Let's see, what else spawned in the city? We have another Shotgun Messiah over there, or that could be the Shamway factory possibly. But we have the Joe Bros Builders there. If we fly over a little this way, I got the hospitals to spawn in, the old really cool looking hospitals. 2 of them right next to each other. You have another giant new building right here. So it looks a lot more like the skyscrapers are spawning in after a little bit of editing tricks, and this is actually a really cool map. This is just map seed number 1 on Random World Generation. I mean, look how huge these cities are. Not the greatest biomes. There's a lot of the desert biome and a lot of the burnt forest and wasteland biomes in here. But all in all, though, I have to say it's definitely nice. And like I said, I mean, this is just one generation that I'm showing you, or one Random World Generation. You have another Shotgun Messiah over there. What else spawned in this city here? Let's see. We have the Random World. Looks like maybe that's the apartment buildings over there. You do have the new big City Hall building here. I'm not sure which one that's an apartment building there. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do this in your worlds. And just keep in mind, this is build 240 of Alpha 17. So things may change, they may update it. Like, check this out here. You got the hospital. You got skyscraper number 2 there. And then I think this is either Higashi Towers, maybe. Skyscraper number 3. You have another Shotgun Messiah back there in the background. So it's just, you know, it worked. What I was trying to do, it worked, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to set this up, so you can actually customize it yourself, or if you want to, I'm going to put a link down in the description below to download the files the way I edited them, so that you guys can set it up the exact same way if you wanted to. But each city generates now about 3 to 4, sometimes even possibly 6 skyscrapers. And then the entire map itself, I haven't really checked to see how many the entire map generates, but it's probably close to about 10 plus skyscrapers total for an entire map. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Let me show you guys what you need to do to set this up in your own game. Alrighty guys, so first thing is first, when we're setting this up here, you're going to want to go into your Steam library. So open up Steam, click on library, click on games if it's not already open, and you should see 7 Days to Die, latest experimental, most likely at the top. But click on that, or right click on it rather, click on properties when that drops down, and then you're going to want to click on local files, and then you're going to want to click browse local files from there. Once you've done that, it will open up the 7 Days to Die local files area, as you can see here. Alright guys, so once you have opened your 7 Days to Die folder, you're going to want to click on data. And inside data, you're going to find a bunch of different folders like config and prefabs, which are the main ones that we're going to be looking at. Primarily though config, because I did do some testing. And changing the prefabs, I did see some out there that were saying, oh, just go in and like, you know, for example, like bar, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. For example, the bar theater, you go into the XML file and you can just change here where it's the zoning. You can change it from downtown to commercial or residential or whatever you want to change it to. That doesn't work though. I don't know if they changed something in the most recent update that stopped that, but that no longer works. So the way you're going to want to do this is go into the config settings. And under config, you're going to find a folder or an XML file called RWG Mixer. You're going to want to click on that and open it up in either WordPad or Notepad, whatever you prefer to use. I prefer WordPad. I think it works easier. And in here, you're going to find how the world generates with the random world generator. So what we want to do is we want to find these skyscrapers. So when we click on here, we're going to click on sky, and let's find where the skyscraper is. So you can see here's the first one that shows up is the prefab rule. Skyscrapers have a minimum count. This used to be 2. I changed it to 4. I'm not sure if that's 4 per county or 4 per map. Obviously, it's not 4 per map as we saw before. It's generating almost 6 plus per map, if not more. We're going to go ahead and look, though, to see exactly how many were generated. So that you can up, I believe, like I said, I think this is the minimum per city. So you're welcome to go ahead and change that to 4 like I did. And then the next one that if we go down some more, you got another skyscrapers with a minimum count of 2 and a max count of 6. So that, I believe before was 1 and 4 or maybe 1 and 3. I'm not 100% sure, but I did up that to 2 and 6. And then if we go to the next one, you have skyscrapers. And here's where it got a little bit interesting. If you guys haven't been messing around with the Random World Generator previewer before, you probably noticed that skyscraper 4, that's the Joe Bros builders. And that, if you notice, those are spawning no problem into the map. So, but if you look at the original file for this, let me go ahead and pull up the original file real quick. Yeah, so here is the original file. This is the original file here. And as you can see, skyscrapers originally was set to a minimum count of 2. We had changed that to 4. This one was set to 1 and 2, so a minimum count of 1 and a max count of 2. I changed that to 2 and 6. So a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 6. And I believe that's the per city. But if we go down to the next one, here's what I was talking about. If you look, the skyscraper 4, that's Joe Bros builders. Those spawn in the maps no problem. And then the other skyscrapers have a probability of 0.2. So that's a 20% chance that a skyscraper 01, 02, or 03 will spawn into the map. But skyscraper 4, the Joe Bros builder, does not have a probability set to it. So that most likely means that there is a 100% chance that the skyscraper 4 is going to go ahead and spawn into the map. So what you want to do is remove the probabilities off of each of these. So just click on here and just erase these all together. Once these are erased, and like I said, if you want to up it like I did in the other ones, let me see here. I think, yeah, that's everything there. So let's go back up to the top here. And let's find where it was. If you want to change these, you can. I honestly think this made a huge difference with allowing more of them to spawn. Because, I mean, obviously a minimum of 1 and a max of 2 is not a whole lot of skyscrapers. So that is what you want to change. Now, a couple of other things I did change. That's why, like I said, I added where there's more large factories as well. Where the probability for the large factories has a higher chance of spawning in. What are they called? Factory, I think. Is it called a factory? Yeah, so here you can see the probabilities of the large factories. So it's got a 30% probability of these showing up in the map, a 30% probability of each one. So we upped that as well, I believe. I think we upped it. Let me see. We may not have. Let's take a look here. Factory. Yeah, so I removed the probabilities on those altogether. So there's no chance there's any more, like a 3% chance of them showing up or a 30% chance. It's guaranteed now that they will show up in your random world generation. So, and I'm going to show you guys how to download the file. That way you can just put exactly what I have into it, into yours, and I'll give you the directions and everything. I've already uploaded it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that link down in the description below. Again, keep in mind, this is build 240. And this is not a stable way of doing this. So you may have buildings that float. You may have some that sink into the ground. Because keep in mind, now you're adding a ton more large maps to the Random World Generator. I'm sorry, large buildings to the Random World Generator, which could, in the end, cause the map to expand, causing some buildings to end up in places they shouldn't have. So just keep that in mind. This is not perfect. I highly recommend when you start up your game and you're going to create a new map that you use the Random World Generator previewer first. Preview the map that you're going to generate, make sure you like it, and then generate it before you go through all the hassle of creating a bunch of multiple worlds. I also highly recommend that you save your configs folder, the Random World Generator Mixer. Save that file just in case anything happens. And then keep in mind, again, if they do make an update to the game, this may all change. All they have to do is add one building to the game, and this becomes non-usable at that point, because you're not going to have this to take advantage of. So just keep that in mind. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys, though, if we go ahead, we'll exit out of this. I'm not going to save any of it. We'll exit out of that. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys was just how many more skyscrapers spawned in that city. So that was Old Fanaha Valley that generated. And if we click on that and we go to the prefabs, we'll go ahead and open that in WordPad as well. And we're just going to search sky. So check this out. So we got skyscraper number 2. So that's 1. Skyscraper number 2 again. So that's 2 skyscraper number 2s. That's 2. Skyscraper number 4, that's 3. Skyscraper number 3, that's 4. Skyscraper number 4, that's 5. Skyscraper number 3, that's 6. Skyscraper number 4, that's 7. Skyscraper number 2, that's 8. Skyscraper number 3, that's 9. 9 skyscrapers spawned in that map that we were looking at. And this, what I'm in right now, this shows you everything that spawned. So for those of you guys who have been following my 7 Days to Die series, the Let's Play series, you have noticed that I traveled all over, the map, and I cannot find a single large factory or a skyscraper at all. And that is because those maps, these particular ones right here, like the one city that we have been moving around, and I think it was this one, New Isoji Valley. Let me see here. So if we go in and we open this, and we take a look here, let's try searching skyscrapers. Look at that, there's none. None at all. Factories, I don't even think there's any of the large factories on this map either. Look at that, none. So keep that in mind. This is another way, if you don't want to have to roam around the entire preview or looking at the city, you can just generate it and then look at the name that generates on the top, and then just come back in here, look up the city here, and then you can do what I'm doing and just search it. That's another great way to get that to work as well. So let me go ahead and show you guys. So once you click on the link below to download the file for the config RWG mixer, once you click on that, it's really simple to install it into your game. You're going to want to go like how we did, click on Steam, right click, get to this folder here. And all you're going to do is drag it and drop it from the one folder that you installed from the web page. Drag it into your config folder here. Replace the one that's in here, and that's it. You're done. Then you can go ahead and, like I said, if you want more, if what I'm showing you is not enough, follow the steps that I showed you. Go into the RWG mixer and just edit those skyscraper settings, increase the numbers to whatever you want them to be, to increase the amount of large buildings that show up. Like I said, the main thing though is getting rid of that probability that shows up. The higher the probability, the more likely. If you completely remove it, it means it's extremely likely for it to show up. So that's a couple different ways. You can do it with just about anything. If you want like less those torn down buildings, if you want less of them, just lower the probability of them showing up altogether. It's very simple. Hope this episode helps you guys. If it did, as always, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you don't miss out on any of the other great tips, and as well as the Let's Play series for 7 Days to Die. I am going to be going ahead and moving all my stuff. If you guys do watch my Let's Play series, I am not starting all over again, dude. We are like level 30. We have the mini bike. We have tons of weapons and all that stuff. I'm not trying to start all over. So I'm going to spend the day getting everything transferred into a new map, and then we're going to start fresh so we can start getting into some of these amazing new POIs that the Fun Pimps have added to this game. And we're going to go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to just drop a comment down in the section below. If you have any questions about how this works or how you can change a certain thing, I will do my best to answer it. Again, I'm not a programmer. I don't make games. I don't know how this stuff works. I just know how this particular thing works, but I will do my best to try to answer any questions you may have. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Later.